Hi, this short video shows you the structure of the source code. I have kept the source code so that it's very easy for you to open this in Arduino IDE. So there are three folders here. The first is the library folder. Inside this you find the source code of the libraries which I have used. The first one is the PN532, the Arduino DS and MFRC522. So these source code are directly downloaded from the respective the GitHub version control system, and you can always get the latest source code of this library from the GitHub. If you want to see how this coding for MFRC522 is done, it's all inside this folder. So there are three files here, so you'll understand this better if you open this project in the Arduino IDE. So likewise, this folder consists of all the programming I have done for the PN532. So I'm going to open this in Arduino IDE. So what you see here is the Arduino IDE. I'm using version 1.6.5. Since Arduino is open source software, you can download this anytime from the Arduino website. So the first thing you have to do is you have to change the preferences to the folder where you have got this source code. So in my case it's in F Arduino projects and this. So after you do that, all the libraries and the projects are available to you in the sketchbook menu. So if you want to see some of the examples, you can choose these libraries, and these are the original examples you get when you download this respective source code. So if you open, say for example, if you want to know the MFRC522, choose that, and this is my program for MFRC522. So feel free, some interesting programming ideas have been used, so which is going to be helpful to you. So there are three tabs here which is organized. So this tab probably you can see all the programming I have done for NTAG 21X, for example. You can see this something to do with the version and everything to the ultralight is so here. So I'm going to have separate videos explaining how these functions are written. So if you go to sketchbook and open the PN532 project, and you can see the entire project is organized into various sections. So you can just go and say how the programming is done. If you're interested in how the 3DS authentication is done, look at this 3DS tab. Again, I'm going to make separate videos explaining various functionalities and how these things are written by me. So once you know, if you want to make any changes, you're allowed to do that. So just get yourself comfortable using Arduino IDE. So the first is the compiling, so you can compile. So when the sketch is compiled, so you get this message here that says, see now it's still compiling. Now once compilation is done, you get it's successfully compiled. And right now I'm compiling this for the Uno board. So if you already done some programming in Arduino IDE, you know how to change the board. So here it's Uno. If you want to run this project for Arduino Mega, you just have to choose the Mega and again recompile it. So if you want to upload this to your board, so first you connect the board. I'm going to do that here. So I'm going to connect So I'm going to connect this. I got my Arduino connected to the COM4. I've got this original board, the Uno board. You might say something like this, or some kind of a Arduino compatible or similar to that. So before that, choose your board to Uno, because I have a Uno, and once it's compiled, so it's compiled. So click this uploads the sketch to Uno board. So you can see here it says uploading, so it looks like something's going on. And once you see this message done uploading, you got your the Arduino hex file loaded to your board. So you feel free to go through this program, and you can make changes. Let me know if you have done some good changes. Let me know. If you want to access the hex files after the compilation, the way you do that in Arduino IDE is go to the file, go to preferences, and click on this last link, the preferences text. So this will take you to a folder where the preferences file is stored. So in my case, preferences, double click. So I have got a line here that says the build path. So I got F drive and Arduino projects and build. So if you don't see this line, you can add a line like this. So this is telling IDE where to keep the compiled hex files. If you don't specify this, probably the hex files are created somewhere in your user profiles. So I do that. I keep everything in one place. So if you go to that Arduino build folder, so as you can see here, so you can sort by date. So because we're compiling this project called RFID Learn PN532, the hex file says this one. So if you want to give this hex file to a friend, or if you want to upload this using Xloader, this is the file you have to use. So but keep in mind, so every time you compile a project, so this entire folder is going to be rewritten. As you can see here, all the files are more or less have the same date and time. So going back to my program, so I'm going to show you where to look for my changes. So if you go to the libraries and say for example MFRC522, and if you open this the header file, and you can open this in a text pad, and what you see here is the original source code you get from the GitHub. If you scroll down, so all the new functions I have written is mentioned here. So these are the new functions I've written. So you know the name of the function, and if you traverse back to, or if you open this the CPP file, the source file, you can trace out, okay, and see how I've done. All my functions of what I've written uses the basic function which is already part of the library. So likewise, if you open the other library, say the PN532 here as well, go to libraries, so PN532, so open this header file, open in plus plus. If we scroll down, you can see that I have added more functions in PN532. So you can see something like NFC password authentication and read. And as I said before, I'm going to make separate videos explaining how to write all these functions. If you've done coding before, or if you're good in C and C++, you can easily understand how these functions are written. But keep in mind, to understand these functions, you must have the original documentation in front of you, because the document tells you what command to send, what parameters to send. It's exactly taken from the documentation. So likewise, for the 3ds I've not done much changes because I don't understand this cryptography thing. However, I've just added just one or two helper functions. So if you open the des config file, so if you scroll down, and as you can see here, I added two functions here, set iv and get iv. So if you go back and open the cpp file, you'll come to know what exactly these changes are there. So that is all about this the source code video. Thanks for watching, and let me know when you make some good changes.